an embarrassing display today, a terrible performance today. Give me your thoughts on Potter's lineup, Potter's performance as manager, and Chelsea overall.
I'm just so done with it, Terry. I'm genuinely just so done with it. I mean, I came out here in September when Tuchel got sacked. I said, wrong mistake, but you want to sack him, whatever. You don't go get someone like Graham Potter. And I went on a massive rant on Twitter, and I said, Graham Potter will get us relegated. I said, Graham Potter is a university coach. He's an under 15s coach. He wouldn't even coach my state level team. He's not good enough. He doesn't have the fight, the spirit to coach a top level team like Chelsea. And today showed it. And I want to point out just something, that kind of ended the coffin. It ended the coffin, back in September, but today ended it when it's 90 minutes plus 12, and I see the Southampton manager screaming. I can hear him from my headphone. I'm hearing this guy screaming louder than any player on the pitch. The Southampton manager is going ham at the place. And what's my manager doing? My manager's there with his arms crossed, clapping the clapping the fucking players when they make a 1 meter fucking pass. It's embarrassing. Graham Potter is embarrassing to this club. He should walk out himself. If Todd Boyd doesn't sack him by Monday, I'm not watching the next game. There's no point, because he comes out, he starts this again. Okay, it's an okay lineup, not the worst for me, but I was a bit upset. But then at half time, he subs off Dacio Fofana, our best fucking player that half. So everything doesn't make sense. And if a fan comes to me and says on this panel right now that you want Potter in, you're going to be one of the most delusional fans ever. I'm sorry. I've said some wild things, but that is delusional what you're saying about Potter in. Because what tells you today that Potter is going to change? I hear all this stuff, underdog story, fucking he came from Norway, and now he's going to be the next Chelsea manager, blah, 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 blah. This guy's fucking garbage. And when haven't we learned? You don't bring a fucking manager with no experience. He just spent £600 million.
Slow the swearing a little bit, please.
Sorry, Terry.
I know you're angry. Just slow a little bit.
It's
doesn't allow that much swearing. Yeah, they go a bit crazy.
Yeah,
but keep going.
Sorry, the country. That's how we do it. But no, sorry. But as I said, I think it's just it's an embarrassment. And he is embarrassing Chelsea. I want him to stand up and walk out the door himself. If Todd Boyd doesn't sack him by now, and then if I want to wake up to a sacking on Graham Potter, and people go, "Oh, who you want to get? Hansi Flick will come in tomorrow and do a better job with it. 600 million spent, and you can't beat Southampton. They haven't won a game in 10 games, and we've won 2 games in 15. It's absolutely embarrassing, horrible. I don't want to say anymore. I just don't want anyone on this panel to say Potter in. I really don't want anyone to say. I just can't. And if you do, I need to hear a big, good reason for it. I just can't.
Winter Surfer, you've always been a little more like reserved in looking at Graham Potter, but since the transfer window shut, it's 3 games, no wins, 2 defeats on the bounce. You can't score goals. Is this just too big for Graham Potter now?
First of all, I just want to say blessings for Christian Atsu and his family, and I hope Azpilicueta gets better. Okay, so let's do this. Sean Dyche has got more Premier League wins in the last 15 than Graham Potter has. Potter has to go, Terry. He has to go. Terry, there are points in every season when a manager is not it. With Lampard, for me, is when I saw Tammy Abraham crossing it to N'Golo Kante when we lost 3-1 to Arsenal. Today, it was 2 things. I saw Wesley Fofana on the right wing trying to cross it into the box. And when he took Fofana off and he played Mason Mount up front. Okay? I'm done. I am so done. He's got to go right now. In the next 24 to 48 hours. This, for me, seems like the AVB situation when we lost the first leg of that Champions League against Napoli. You need to get him out now, because there was no way we weren't going to score today. And I see comments like, Mudryk, what has Mudryk done? Mudryk was actually came on and did well, but there's nothing there. And the problem is, if people go, well, we've got to wait till the summer. The problem is, it's already toxic at the bridge already, right? It's toxic online. It's toxic with the fan base. This fan base, for the good of everyone's mental health, won't survive him staying until the summer. It just won't, okay? I'm this right now. If Potter's not gone within the next 48 hours, I'm not watching another a live Chelsea game this season. I'm just not doing it, because there's just no point. There's no point. There was no Terry. We nearly. I can't remember the chance. We nearly conceded within the first 3 minutes of the game against Southampton. This is Southampton. What team looked like they didn't have a manager today? It wasn't Southampton. We look like the team without a manager. And here's a great idea. What you're going to foul a team near the penalty area that has one of the best free kick takers in Premier League. You're going to do that. And I don't know the tactics. I don't know what's happening. You play Azpilicueta, fine. I would have played Chalobah there. You take Madueke off and you take Fofana off. You leave Mount on to do what? And there's just nothing there. And he just doesn't inspire confidence. And you can't even say now it's like, oh, well, it's the old players before. This is with new players. This is with new players as well. There's nothing there. There is nothing there. I see Enzo Fernandez on the pitch after he's passed the ball, like just to someone, just looking around, going, "What? What is there to do?" You bring Kai Havertz on, okay, but you have Kai Havertz on the wing and dropping deep. He's supposed to be your focal point of attack, and you're crossing the ball in, and he's not there. Why? I need someone an Eric Ten Hag type to come in there with big brass balls and just put his foot on their necks. I just need that. This whole group counselor, happy vibe, best friend type is bullshit. We don't want that. I want a Mourinho. I want a Tuchel type. I want that type personality. I need that. This team needs that. Needs to kick up the backside.
I was wanting to say, like, I understand where you're coming from. For me, after the window shut, I thought you're a little unlucky against Fulham. I thought you're a little unlucky against West Ham. But there was moments and signs in those games where I'm sitting there against Dortmund. I saw moments where I thought there's some good football there. They just got to start scoring. Today felt different to me. Today was you're playing the worst team in the league at home. You've got an abundance of talent to pick from. There isn't an excuse that today. As I say, I was sitting there watching it, and I was sitting there going, "Oh, I'm gonna have to admit on camera that I was wrong." And I don't like doing that as a man. It's like I hate saying I was wrong, but I agree with you both. I just don't understand.
Terry, they put up 12. They put up 12 extra minutes of injury time. So what? You could have put 122 minutes of extra time. We weren't going to score.
Well, Southampton came closer to scoring in that than you did.
Again, we got one left. We got one person left behind again, nearly on a counter attack. You're not learning from midweek. Just go. Just go. It's too big of a jump.
I hear you.
It's too big of a jump.
Yeah. What are you saying, DR? What are you saying, DR?
I don't know if you read my super chat, but within that super chat, there's some truth in it. I said to you, when we first got him, I was like, this guy better show that the job is not too big for him and have ruthlessness and drop certain individuals. And I just think when people say performances are improving, XG isn't just what I need to see. I need to see like green W's and I need to see like goals, because these are attacking players and he was an attacking coach and he's failing at that. And I just think he's just sinking. He's not swimming. I hope he could swim. I don't care if my manager's not charismatic I don't care if my manager's not expressive on the touchline, because I've seen Don Carlo Ancelotti, I've seen Hiccup Hiddink, I've seen Mourinho, I've seen the failures like Villas-Boas, I've seen Conte. So like, if you're doing all X, Y, and Z on the touchline, I don't care. I care about how you are when you put up a starting lineup. That starting lineup had Mount on the wing and Fofana, and I think Fofana did not deserve to come off for Mount to stay on.
Yeah,
I think Mount is unworthy of two banners. I've seen N'Golo Kante, I've seen legends of this club, and a banner at Chelsea is like a tifo. It's kind of sacred, and I think, seeing that guy have another banner for him today and putting in a performance like that is disgraceful. He needs to leave. And I back my players, but I can't back this. I think Potter just needs to actually understand that even though you're given time, you can it's over. Like you can it can just be gone just like that. These lineups are very bad.
Yeah,
You
I
need
agree
to
with you.
sort out.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I read somewhere just then that he's got a 13% win ratio, and
Whew.
the crazy thing is
That
this.
high.
The crazy part about it is this: like, he isn't even trying to create. I know he has to discover who his best team is, and that takes time. In the sense of, it's like Mudryk starts and he doesn't, and then he starts and he doesn't. Okay, Felix starts in one position, then he doesn't. There's been no 1-0 Liverpool. Nunes, great goal. There's no continuity because you're not giving anybody the time. The fact that they let Badiashile out the Champions League game, but he plays all your Premier League games, makes zero sense to me. And I think those decisions need to be looked at. Alex is joining us now as well. Mate, do you agree with the panel that Potter's got to go?
Oh, I was Potter out since the West Ham game. They just now joining me. I was Potter out
No,
before.
I was before you.
Well, somebody has to look. My biggest problem with the reason why the players that we bought all of a sudden start to don't look like they did when they started, and that looks like the quality of the players all of a sudden drops, and it's not dropping because they are not talented, because we saw a couple of games earlier that they played. They
This
have
was a
quality.
different team, though, I'd say. A lot of different
So now what happens now is I'm start to look at the manager for actually bringing down the quality of the players that came in. So for me, this is unacceptable. And if anybody played any part of the game or been around the game, the early months of the early games of the player that joining your club, it's actually really, really important for his development at that club. If you will make those, especially young ones, if young players gonna get down and their level will go down, not because they're not good, but because of the quality of the game around them is not good, I'm gonna go after manager for that. You see what I'm saying? So for me, I don't want to hear Mount. I don't want to hear Aspilicueta. I don't want to hear nothing. There's Chelsea fans need from now on not asking the question why Mount starts. Chelsea needs to ask why manager puts the team and the way they play. It is what it is.
Yep. 100%
Game over.
correct. Yep. 100%
And
correct.
if anybody knows, if you Chelsea fan, if you grew up in the after 2004, Chelsea's been in a relegations battle before, and those relegation battle are not the same as the winning league. They is actual brutal. If you get sunk in into the conversation of the relegation battle, you're gonna fight the same mentality if you're in top 4 trying to win the league. The mentality of the game is sometimes more important than your physical ability. So for me, if you're dropping into this danger zone and you have a young, unexperienced team with the bad manager, that's a wreck coming towards you. And if you don't see it, that's on the club. That's
Yeah. And mate, I think everybody agrees with you. It's. I mean, this is the thing. Chelsea for me are nowhere near. I say nowhere near. I mean, points wise, you're not a million miles away. You're sort of 12. You're 11 points from the bottom. There's too many teams worse than you, in my opinion, for you to get relegated.
Oh,
But
Southampton.
in terms of winning these games, yeah, I know. Like, I think you'll win enough games because 40. You only need 9 more points to hit the 40 mark, and you've got
Yes.
15 games left. You're gonna hit the
Dude.
40-point mark, right? But I do get you right. This is just one of those such bad seasons for you. And the thing is, as much as I've sort of stood there and been like, actually, Chelsea need to like build for next season. But that's what you need to do. You need to be getting the team to a point where you're purring by the end of this season. So come next year, you guys are ready.